So today we're going to be talking about dust masks, what's good, what's bad, what to look out for. So let's get into it. I've got kind of sensitive lungs, so dust masks are always something I'm thinking about when I'm working in the shop or anywhere else. Wood dust, sheetrock, and fiberglass, regular dust, pollen, all that stuff just irritates my lungs to no end. So I'm always thinking about dust and what to do with it, how to prevent it, all that stuff. So I've got a bunch of different dust masks. 3M, which is kind of a more premium dust mask. Whenever somebody comes to help me in the shop, I give them one of these or one of these. We've got sort of a cheap Chinese no-name dust mask with a cool design on it. Dust mask from a company that's called SLT, and then a dust mask from a company called Basecamp. I've also had an RZ mask, which I've since thrown away because it got trashed and covered in paint and whatever. So we'll compare them real quick. I want to say that I'm doing this video because Basecamp gave me a couple masks to try out and do a review, and I told them I'd only do an honest review because I care about the integrity of the channel and what you guys think and what you guys are buying. So I've used this mask for a couple months now while I've been working on different projects, and the other masks I've used a lot. In comparison, there are a few different scales that I would go off of to really rate these, and that would be comfortability, usability, and efficiency. And that's basically what I'm looking for in a dust mask. I want it to be comfortable to wear, easy to put on and take off if I need to do that often, and then I also, want it to keep the dust out. Obviously, a mask like this, keep everything out. You can keep it really sealed. You know when it's sealed, there's no doubts about it. And then something like this is the other end of the scale where if you just need to cover up for a quick second and you think that'll do, then that'll do. Something like this is a good mask. You can see a lot of like demolition guys wear this, demolition people wear this kind of mask because they're cheap and you can dispose of them. So that's a good option for that, but I wouldn't want to wear that every day in the shop. I wouldn't want to wear this every day in the shop. I don't want to wear this every day in the shop, which is why you have these and the RZ mask. So first, this cheap Chinese mask, you've probably seen these all over the place if you've looked for masks online. They kind of have holes where there's filtration. There are a bunch of different configurations, a bunch of different names that aren't really brand names. They just rebrand them. These I like. They're not bad. You can replace and put carbon filters in here if you really want to make it better. They fit pretty comfortably. They've got a nice I find that a large strap across the face really helps hold it in place. They're pretty simple, pretty cheap. They work pretty well for most things you're going to be doing. Some of them come with a nose piece kind of like this one. This is also a cheap one. I think it was a little more expensive than that. Once again, it's got the filters, a replaceable inside filter that's disgusting right now. And the metal nose piece helps keep it sealed around your nose. And the strap is in a good position where it'll stay on your face. RZ mask is similar to these, where there's no top strap like this one or this one. And the RZ mask works really well. It's a great mask. I used mine for a long time. I'm just a cheapskate, so I end up going back to Chinese stuff. This is the way it goes, man. And then we got the Basecamp mask. I didn't really like this mask at first because it's a little, if you look at it, it's a little bigger than the other masks that I'm used to using. What I did to kind of survey them is I kind of just brought everything out to where I'm working. And when it was time to choose a mask because I was doing something dusty, I'd see which one I reached for. And I kept reaching for this one. And I kept reaching for it because it feels good. It's comfortable, it's well built, and it keeps dust out. These other ones are quick, but if you're doing something a little longer, and this is a mask I'd reach for. And then he's got these loops that actually hold a strap that goes over the top of your head. And that holds it in place because this doesn't have the tension from the top. So when you put this on or you put this on, your nose is here and this pulls tension sort of down on top of your nose to create that seal. This has a gap there. So there's no way to create tension, which is kind of the only flaw that I see in this. I really like this mask. But if you're going to wear it without the strap, you can do that just kind of momentarily or just for a little bit. But if you're doing a lot of up and down work, moving your head a lot, then you have to have the strap on it pretty much. That being said, if the strap doesn't bother you, this is the way to go really, because I would get no dust. I even spray painted with this on and I didn't really smell the spray paint, which is a good sign. Because if you're not smelling it, not nearly as much as going in your lungs is kind of the easy scale if you want to measure it. So then you sort of get down to what do you use the mask for and how long are you going to be wearing it for. This you'd most likely be using for fumes, paint, stuff like that. Nothing super hardcore. You're not going to wear this while you're dealing with mustard gas. But this will cover just about anything you're going to do in the shop. But it's not the most comfortable thing to wear. It's really secure on your face. gets a little annoying to wear after a while because it's just a bit much. It's a bit cumbersome. Something like this you're going to wear for, just wood dust, large grain dust. And then something like this you could wear for finer work, and you could wear it for a long time. The only drawback to this is that it is a little harder to take off and on, because if you're wearing a hat, if I'm wearing my hat forward, I've got to put this strap over it, and it's kind of annoying. So over the last few months, I've done sheetrock and soundboard, which is what I'm doing now, and insulation, and just cutting 2x4s and things like that. And I found myself grabbing this a lot more, regardless of the top piece, just because I felt like it sealed around my face a little better. If you ever use a mask, you can tell when they're sealing and when they're not sealing a lot of the time. And it feels really good when you can think to yourself, no dust is getting in. You feel confident in that, versus you pick up something and it's got holes in it and it doesn't feel good and you've got dust still all over your face when you're done. It's not really encouraging, because if you got dust all over your face, you got dust all in your lungs. It's just the way it works. I really like this mask. The other thing that I'll say about this mask is it's built very well and is sewn very well. High quality materials, higher quality materials than I've seen in any mask of this kind before. That was the first thing I noticed when I got out of the box. I just kind of wanted to touch it. I was like, oh, this is surprisingly surprisingly well built. Somebody put a little investment into the material. Even the Velcro is not the big loop Velcro. It's the fine Velcro that's really good. So obviously Basecamp is sort of sponsoring this video because they sent it to me, but this is an honest review. I really like the mask and I'm impressed with the craftsmanship, and I've enjoyed using it over the past couple months. The funny thing is I was actually online looking for new masks, because both of these are pretty trashed at this point. And the next day I got an email from Basecamp saying, hey, you want to try out our masks? We're looking for somebody to try them out who's actually going to put them to use. And I figured it was a sign to give it a shot. So that's kind of my take on it. I would put this right up there with an RZ mask, but I think this is a little more secure just because of the top strap. And if you're curious about what I'm doing in this room, stay tuned, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to talk all about it here in future videos. But for now, I hope this was helpful. I'll put links for all the masks that I can find. Some of these may not be available anymore, but I'll put them all down below in the description. And until the next video, you guys have a good one. Jeez, it's hot. Man. Oh God, that chair is way lower than normal. Whew, thought I was gonna die. Can we just lower my chair, maybe? I'm drawing a blank. What's a dust mask? What's a dust mask that is all over all the maker stuff? I'm like, how do I not remember this? I've seen like 1,000 videos. I'm gonna have to look it up. I don't know how do brains work. They just don't. They don't sometimes. They just don't. That's the thing. They don't sometimes. RZ. I didn't have to look it up. I thought of it. I started typing into Google and then I thought of it. RZ mask. I've also had an army. All right.